So, I have a bit of a history with hardcore Minecraft. And by history, I mean I die. A lot. But this time's gonna be much different. Our goal is to simply stay alive, build up a cozy starter base, get nice and geared up with villager trading, fully enchanted gear, and everything else that we will need to stay alive. This is hardcore Minecraft. Spawning into a brand new world, we wasted no time collecting our first bit of wood, crafting a wooden pickaxe, and upgrading to stone tools. Our next objective being food and a bed. Grabbing up our crafting table and picking up the spruce saplings, we spotted a big cave and decided not to go in. Not today, Satan. Not today. After killing all the animals on the island, we are now stocked with some food. Having a look around, we saw a shipwreck just off the coast, so we decided to make a boat, head over, and see what's inside. And I was not disappointed. I tell you, this shipwreck was loaded with some good loot. A bit of moss, some carrots, potatoes, and a bunch of iron. Don't mind if I do. Back on the surface, it didn't take too long before we spotted a nice village up on the hill. So let's head over there and take what we can from them. Grabbing all their hay bales and a bed, we are definitely safe to sleep away our first night. Our next objective is to grab 2 of these villagers, get them over to where I want to build my starter base, and start breeding them up infinitely. Taking a moment to plant down all the crops that we found, we headed straight back to the village to grab 1 more villager. After getting our second villager safely in a boat, we grabbed every single bed that we could find in the village to start breeding these guys up. Welcome to your new home, guys. You know, Minecraft is a pretty brutal game sometimes. I'm just gonna dig them a big hole and stick them in it to live in for eternity. Lighting the cave up, placing down all of the beds that we stole from the village, this is now a nice chamber for these guys to start breeding us all kinds of villagers. Here, have some bread. And I'm not gonna sit in the corner and creepily watch you make children. Now let's do the same sort of thing with some cows, trapping them in a small pen and starting to breed them. Cutting down our first big spruce tree, we are going to need lots of spruce wood, not only for building but for trading sticks with Fletchers to get geared up. Making sure to plant all the spruce saplings back down, we breeded up the cows one more time and jumped right into the villager breeder to start making some emeralds. We stopped by the river to grab some gravel and also planted down some sugar cane so that we can get started on an enchanting setup. Now, this early game grind is going to consist of chopping down spruce trees and trading sticks with Fletchers so that we can get a bunch of emeralds. In between doing this, we're going to dig ourselves a nice mine because we are going to need quite a bit of iron in order to upgrade the armorers and toolsmiths. We came across a pretty big cave and got super lucky as there was not a mob in sight. Collecting up a bunch of iron, we also found our first diamonds. There's only 2, but we will take it. Back on the surface, we bred up the cows one more time and continued on with the process of trading. I also bought a bow and arrow from the Fletcher so that I can safely kill all the iron golems that spawn in the cave. At some point we will build an iron farm, but I did this a lot, guys. Villager trading is so OP. After a little while, we got ourselves a full set of diamond tools, making it so much easier to get started on terraforming so that we can build a starter house. With the toolsmiths upgraded, it's time to get to work on the armorers. Our next objective being a full set of diamond armor. Taking much needed breaks in between villager trading, we got to work on our first proper field of the episode. Collecting up a bunch of oak leaves so that we can decorate all around this area. Utilizing the space right by the small pond, giving ourselves 3 different field areas to work with, we planted down our wheat, our carrots, and our potatoes. Breeding up our cows one more time, we jumped right back down into the villager breeder to get all geared up and finally getting ourselves a full set of diamond armor. Look at us all dripped out over here. Now that we are feeling so much safer in this world, it's time to go on an adventure. Find ourselves all the wood types that we're gonna need for building and get on to building a starter house. I did, however, get a little bit distracted getting started on a road system so that we know where we want to build. Pillaring up to have a good look at the land, we got approached by some of our first bad guys. Now, one of the things I'm gonna need a lot of for building is copper, and luckily we came across a massive copper vein down in our mine. Throwing it all in our furnaces, we're also gonna need to age it down. And a wandering trader showed up. He didn't have much for us, but we did take his blue orchids before killing him and his llamas for the leads. I have a lot of copper to age down, so we got to work placing them down so they can age. Finally cutting down a massive amount of spruce wood that we're going to use for building, not for trading. It feels so nice to say that. We have cut down so much spruce wood. I did go on a bit of an adventure, but the footage got corrupted, so here we are placing down some dark oak, some pale oak, and some mangrove that we're going to use for lots of building. Luckily, all three of these biomes are fairly close by, so we can return anytime we need. With some final decorations around the pond, this area is really starting to come to life. Adding in my favorite custom trees is going to really make it all pop. I love these trees so much. They're so easy to build, so fun to build, and they just give so much to the land. We're also in need of some bone meal, as well as some mangrove wood, which I hate harvesting mangrove wood, but the nice thing is, the easiest way to do it is to grab a pair of shears, using the leaves to get a bunch of bone meal, also solving that problem. This will technically be our first automated farm of the season. We can make a quick little bone meal machine like this by placing a chest, a hopper, a composter, another hopper, and a chest on top. We can make a quick bone meal machine, throwing everything that we collected into the top. We'll run through and create a bunch of bone meal. We also have a ridiculous amount of cows already, so we're gonna go ahead and do a big slaughter fest. We have more than enough leather to make the books for an enchanting setup. All we need now is a bit of obsidian. With enough copper aged down finally, we're gonna kick this off into a good old-fashioned time-lapse mode. There you have it, folks. We finally have ourselves a nice little starter base, complete with interior. I'm not one for doing interiors, but I'm going to make a point in trying to do every interior in each build that we do in this series. I'm also not one for being super organized, so that's something else that I'm going to be working on. Taking the moss and all the bone meal that we've made, we spread it around the house. We also grew up a couple of azalea trees to collect all the azalea leaves. They are such a fun block to decorate with. Using all the leaves that we've collected so far, we started planning out a nice custom tree to sit right by our house. If I'm being completely honest, I hate it. We're going to redo it at some point. I started extending the road out to where we're going to build a nice big barn to keep all of our animals in, and also up in the attic area we will put our enchanting setup. Yeah, right up here. A perfect spot to put our enchanting table. We moved our last two surviving cows into the stable, crafted up an enchanting table, and started setting up upstairs. We have 45 levels to spend, so let's start enchanting some stuff here. Starting with the pickaxe, hoping to get Fortune 3, Efficiency 4, come on, come on. It's just Efficiency 4. Okay, I guess we gotta make a grindstone. We're gonna re-roll that. Trying again, and we got Silk Touch, Efficiency 4, and Unbreaking 3. Okay, we will take that. Do you remember when I talked about being more organized? Yeah. We're gonna have to take a minute and move all of this stuff inside.
One eternity later.
Okay, so that took a hot minute, but everything is organized. Next, I want to get started on building a proper mine. There's a perfect area right in behind our barn up against the mountain. So let's get started digging our way right down to Deep Slate, grabbing as many diamonds as we can. That'll do. Let's get digging. Trying to dig a very natural looking cave. We will come back through adding supports and texturing the walls with slabs and stairs later. One very successful mining trip later, I need to take one of these diamonds we found, make another pickaxe, and hopefully get Fortune 3. And we got it on the first roll. Now let's make a big tower of everything we collected, knock it all down, and see what we've got. Netting ourselves a grand total of 21 diamonds, a stack and 14 lapis, 3 and a bit stacks of coal, and 37 more iron. Not too shabby. We got to work on some more enchanting, getting a pretty nice shovel, axe, and some boots and leggings. Now we finally have a full set of protection armor and efficiency tools. I keep staring at that dang tree every time I walk by, so you know something? We're gonna take a minute to go and fix it right now. And I am so happy that I did. It looks so much better. And I have one more big building project that I'd like to do in this episode. We're going to jump in and build a nice big windmill right up on the hill here. Extending out the road and filling it in, we're going to jump into another time-lapse mode and build up this windmill. Well, we've made some good progress today. Most of all, we are nice and geared up so that we shouldn't be dying in this world anytime soon. I'm not going to take any big risks or anything like that. We're just going to keep expanding this world, building it bigger and bigger, and doing our best to stay alive as long as possible. So that's going to do it for this video, folks. If you made it this far, then you probably enjoyed it, so please subscribe for more. Thank you all so very much, and bye for now.